So here we have a pre-owned 2024 Jaguar F-Type. This one is a P450 R-Dynamic. Comes in Ferenz, red metallic. And then we have the ebony, leather, and suede cloth interior. Powertrain consists of a 5-liter supercharged V8 mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's 444 horsepower, 428 pound-feet of torque. Front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights, and the lights aren't flashing like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. But I love the R-Dynamics, just how they're equipped. The power is crazy. 20-inch aluminum wheels here. And you gotta just love these body lines. I like the coupes a little bit better than the convertibles just because that roof line is gorgeous. But passive keyless entry. Door panel here, memory seat functions. We do have our power seat here, 4-way power lumbar support, power door lock controls, and one-touch up and down windows, power mirrors. We do get blind spot monitors as well. Meridian sound system, trunk release, and then we have the lane departure, power tilt telescoping steering wheel, hood release. You can see the pedals down there. I love that big brake pedal. But there's the seat itself. Now I do want to give a huge thanks to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro and Auto Pro Nashville for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. Little hideaway storage there. And honestly, the trunk space is pretty decent, I think, for a car of this caliber. Windshield washer fluid goes there. The boot's power, which is nice. But again, the LED lights don't flash like that. That's just my camera. But I love that the back end, the rear fog lights and the tail lights are LED. That's pretty nice. And gotta love that exhaust, of course. Fuel cap is there. Premium's recommended. Surprised it's not required, but if you're driving something like this, I'd put premium in it regardless. But there's the front passenger seat. And then we have a little bit of space there in between the back of the seat and the actual back of the car itself. So it's nice that we have that amount of space. We can move the seat however way we want to. And then here we have a window sticker. So y'all can pause anywhere you need to take a closer look at anything, but standard features, only a few options, but a sticker price of $80,223. So not bad. I think it's 67 and some change right now with less than 7,000 miles on it, so that's pretty good. And I apologize about this wind. I cannot catch a break with it whatsoever. But here, I'll take a look at the sticker from Auto Pro Auto Collection. I think I popped the hood, didn't I? So there's that 5-liter supercharged V8. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. Actually, I'm gonna show off the turn signals before I do that. So there are your blinkers. You get one in the side mirror, which is nice, and the one up front. From the driver's seat here, pretty good amount of space, I think. There's the horn. Now over to the radio. For audio, we get AM, FM, XM. Then we also have Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Navigation system is here. And then we have our climate controls and a lot of these apps here if you want to use those. you can. You can get a stopwatch G meter, which is pretty neat. But shortcuts are down below. Your settings and all that can be adjusted within each menu or sub-menu, I suppose. Climate controls are here, so you can push this in, and you can control your heated seats. You get 3-stage heated seats for the front, and then push it again, then you have access to the climate controls. Backup cameras there. Guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And I like all the adjustability you get with the view there. But again, dual zone climate controls, which you can control from here. You can cut the whole system on or off there. Hazards are down here, defrosters. You can cut the vents there, auto, AC, 12 volt. And then your volume knob is here. You can turn this up or down, or click to turn the media off. And then you have your snow and ice mode there. And then your sport mode down there, or dynamic mode, excuse me. But electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage, your auto stop toggle, spoiler, exhaust, traction control. And then to put it in gear, pull this lever, push up for reverse, pull down for drive, and then you can kind of tap up and hold for neutral. And you can come over here and manually shift from the shifter, or the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Bottle holders are here. Center console cubby space. You get 2 USB-A ports, micro SD, and then a 12 volt. That micro SD is going to run your navigation. I also like how they put the vents in here. It's just little things like this that make it look so premium in here. Garage door transmitters integrated there. You get a glass roof, and then a little netted pocket in the back there. And then a very small visor with a mirror but no light. But back to the steering wheel itself, left side stalked, blinkers. To turn the lights on or off, you kind of hold it in a position, and wherever you hold it, that's what comes on. So if I hit auto, I get that there. The trip meter kind of shows the information in that bottom right hand corner. And I mean, 23.2 miles per gallon average is pretty good. And then your windshield wiper controls are right here. So intermittent, then you have your low, high, off there, and then your wipers, which you can push in for the fluid, adjust the intermittent wipers there, and then right there is a one-time. I was wondering how I was able to do that. It's directions, but track list or radio station presets can be gone through here in the audio menu. When you're in the actual menu here, you can go through all of this when you're not in the radio. So the display and all of that there can be full with the steering assistance. All of that can be adjusted. When you're actually in your radio here, you can use that to go through the track list or radio station presets. But volume can be adjusted there when you're in that menu as well, based on the source you're in. And then Bluetooth, voice recognition, limiter, heated steering wheel, and then your cruise controls are all right there. Push button start. Here's the key fob. But now to the fun part. Let's go ahead and take this 24 F-Type R Dynamic out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this F-Type, first and foremost, it's a bit tight in here. And I say that meaning it's very snug. I'm still comfortable, but the seat itself, my sides are basically going over the bolsters here. My head, I have about an inch or so of headroom, but just where the roof slants and all of that, it's a tight feeling here, but in a way that I would appreciate if this was my sports car. Now, when I'm trying to film here, it's not the best just because the roof line's in the way, so I apologize for that. and just how I have to adjust the seat, I have to sit more straight up as opposed to leaning back a little bit to get a wider angle. But from a driver's perspective, it's very nice. And even though it's a sports car, the ride is not terrible. I drove an Aventador earlier today, and that just goes to show that it's levels to this. This is, it's a bit bouncy, but it's not overly stiff in my opinion. It does help that we have different drive modes. The seats are a bit more made for comfort, I think, but not the smoothest ride again. Now, is that a bad thing? Not really if you're in a car that has 444 horsepower, 428 pound-feet of torque. And overall, just I'm able to cruise with this transmission doing 50 miles an hour, and it's barely above 1,000 RPMs, and that's impressive. And I think that's part of the reason this fuel economy is so good, just how these gears are made. And it was smart to do that. You want to have a sports car when you want a sports car. When you're not trying to get a sporty feel, you want to be able to have something that's relatively economical, I think. Now you do have that adjustable wing. You have the exhaust as well. But even in the dynamic mode, with all that activated, it's very quiet in here coming down the road. I'm gonna try to test out these paddle shifters. Oh, there she is. So everything comes alive when you put it in the sport mode here. You don't have to manually shift if you don't want to. You can just hold that plus paddle and it goes into the sport mode, but I figure why not? Yeah, the car just instantly becomes more visceral, more aggressive. What I would expect from a supercharged V8. But overall, I mean, the stiffness and whatnot is there, the bounciness is there, but it's not uncomfortable. Me being 6'3", being a little bit taller, it kind of weighs on me, but if you're anything shorter than that, you should be more than okay. And again, even in this space for me, it's not terrible, it's just harder to film. So I'm gonna try to give it a good pull coming around this corner here. We'll see what it does. Give it a good downshift. Here we go. Yeah, that thing is quick, boy. Gosh, and the sound is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But cruise controls here. And we just have the standard cruise, but the ride overall on the interstate, it's still that bouncy kind. It's a street car, but it's not overly, it's not terrible, you know what I mean? Again, it's bouncy, but if you adjust the seat right, you can make yourself comfortable. For someone my size, it is just a tad more difficult to get that seating position right. But luckily you have power controls. It just doesn't like to give you as much space as it could. So for instance, I have a 2000 Boxster, and that seat is not power, so I can really just kind of like throw the seat back as far as it'll go, and if it creaks or whatever, that's fine, but that's what I need to do to get the optimal amount of space allowed. Here, I feel like you're not getting as much space as you could, because as soon as the seat feels that it's touching something, it wants to move up a little bit and kind of cram you in there. But overall, I mean, it's not something that would really deter me from getting this car. It would just be kind of a nuisance. But again, I love that when you're not in the sport mode, this thing is literally a cruiser. It's so smooth in terms of just the revs from the engine, how it shifts, all of that. But then you throw it into the sport mode, get the paddle shifters going, you get a freaking Jaguar for real from that exhaust. And I'm actually impressed by how Jaguar seems to have made this exhaust sound even better than it did when these F-Types first came out, I think in like 2014, 2015. Yeah, this exhaust is absolutely nuts. This car really moves out without having to give it too much. Again, you have a supercharged V8. I mean, it's just, it puts a smile on your face the more you drive it. And the funny thing is, this exhaust note almost gave me as much exhilaration as the Aventador I just drove, which is also at Auto Pro Nashville. But this is a lot easier to drive. So if you're in the market for something like this and you're like, I don't want something that I have to watch 10 YouTube videos to get the car in gear, this is a good way to go. The shifter makes sense. The way it drives makes sense. All the buttons make sense. And it's not something that will be an arm and a leg whenever you take it in for repairs. It'll probably just be an arm, but compared to a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, not terrible. And again, this just feels more like a touring car. It's not necessarily a touring car, but it feels like one. Behind the wheel, it's just comfortable. Even though the ride is not plush, it's still doable, and it goes with a car that's as aggressive as this F-Type is. So if you're in the market for something like this, you're comparing to maybe a 911 or Corvette, I'd definitely say check it out if you're interested, because this puts all of those to shame in terms of how beautiful this car looks. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Jaguar F-Type.